come over to where I can sit down and work for a minute while we're still here in the yard. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the rest of the stick and I'm going to shave it. And you'll be able to see that this knife makes that job very easy. Just a blank blade. Now, I could use a blade like this without even putting it into a handle, but it makes it just a little bit easier to have some kind of a handle that you can have to use a blade. It makes it more like an X-Acto knife, and some of you may carry X-Acto knives in their bushcraft pack as a backup knife if your other knife got lost. It's always a good idea to go out and try some of these skills to see exactly what it takes and to see exactly the difference between using steel and using a rock, a piece of flint. Again, when you're doing this, a lot of times you don't have to go for beauty. What you need to do is to get a functional blade, a functional tool, a functional basket that you can make and that you can utilize out there in the woods. So don't think that this has to be a masterpiece. It just has to work for you and to allow you to be able to do what you need to do out there in the bush. Now I've got all that bark stripped off of there, and what I'm going to do next, another nice thing about these blades, they're disposable. I get finished with this one, I can try and flake a new point, a new side on it to make it a little sharper, or I can just throw it away and get another one. They're really easy to come by out here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to scrape some of this tree away. I'm actually cutting through the tree here, and I'm just going to do that for a minute or two until we get about halfway through. You can see just in that little bit short of time, we're about a quarter of the way through already. Clean my rock off here and scrape through, and we'll be right back with you when I get that done. Now, although I said it doesn't have to be a masterpiece, I don't want it to be sloppy work either, so I'm just cleaning up these cuts a little bit where I worked in there. Now you can see that I've gotten just below the pith, and I'm going to go just a wee bit more here. What I want to do is to be able to bend this branch over double without snapping it. So we're going to do just a little bit more to give it a little bit more flexibility, and then we're going to go ahead and put this piece of wood in there, the rock in there, sorry. Now some people take their Hokus and what they do is actually take two branches and just put them together. So if this breaks when I bend it, that's okay. I'm going to warm it up a little bit, and I'm just going to try and bend it slow. You can see one little piece here that's trying to break off. That's okay. If it breaks right in half, it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to bend this nice and slow until I get it shaped into a piece that I can join these back ends together. There we go. Now, again, this broke off a little bit. That's okay. It doesn't really matter because we're going to lash this together. All we're trying to do is to get a handle. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fix the blade into the knife. This will give me a usable knife. Now I'm going to switch it around so that I have that little curved part toward the front. That'll give me a little better to work with. And what I've done is to take this bark, and I just took the bark, pulled it in half, so I basically have two pieces. And I'm going to do this much like any other wrap. I'm simply going to make a curve or a loop in the end, and then I'm going to begin to wrap right underneath this rock, and I'm going to wrap right around both of those pieces of wood until I get up to the tag end here. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put the cordage back through that loop that we'd made. This is a quick, easy way to tie something off out there without having to make any knots. Sometimes it's harder to work with cordage than it is, or with bark or rope, wilderness rope, than it is with cordage. Then I'm simply going to pull this back under, and that should hold that real nicely in place. Then I'm going to take my other stone that I have here. Remember, I got a couple of them. Cut that off nicely so it looks good and so it's not in the way. Now our Hoku is basically done, except what I want to do is I want to put a couple wraps around this blade to hold it in place. Basically the Hoku is used with your finger on the back, so I could just come in here and let me show you how strong this is and how nice it works. And I just cut through this bark here, just put my thumb on the back and it cuts right through. But as you noticed, this is still a little bit loose right in here. So what I'm going to do is throw a wrap around there. I've got this other piece of bark, and I'm going to wrap that up, and when I wrap it, we'll be right back with you. Alright, well, this is my finished Hoku knife, and we'll be using this in the videos many times. I probably will have to replace the blade in this. What I did was just throw a couple of loops over the back end of it with cordage, and then I tied that cordage down tight so it wouldn't come out there, and you can see that's in there very firm and strong now. I'll go ahead and show you an example again. Just go ahead and split this right down the center. You can see that's nice and sharp, made a nice cut. We'll go across it, show you that it cuts across, and we've got a nice straight cut. Well, we've got our knives now. I've got the Hoku, which I can use to cut things, cattails, cordage, different things. I've got a couple of larger blanks that I can use as well, just in my hand to cut with. So we've got something now that we can go out and do a little bit of work, some scraping, some cutting, some sawing of small things, and that will help us out as we do our other projects. Now let's get out into the bush and let's see what we can find out there. We're going to need shelter, we're going to need food, we're going to need water and a way to purify it, as well as other utilitarian things such as baskets to carry all of our tools and implements in. So on the next video we're going to show you exactly that. We're going to go out about 1.5 miles, 2 miles north of here is a cattail pond, and we're going to go show you some uses of the cattail in the next video. We thank you so much again for your support and for watching this video. Remember that this is the first in a series, and we're going to go out there almost naked into the bush and show you how you can make it without anything in your pockets at all. This is David Wendell with Bushcraft on Fire. We appreciate very much you being with us and the support that you're giving us. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video.